for you. The field work is now complete. We are in the process of typing up the report, and that will be available on the iTree software as soon as that's completed. The 2024 NJ DOT grant, DOT has announced an anticipated $151 million available through the Municipal Aid Grant Program for 2024. We are preparing, as the manager said, a grant application for a couple roads to repave those roads. We will be submitting a resolution that will need to be passed most likely at the next council meeting that you will need to pass in order to submit this application and move it forward. At that time, once the application is submitted, the clerk and the mayor will need to sign on to the PMRS software and electronically sign the application to complete it. We will walk you through that at the time when that comes. The electric vehicle charging station, as the manager had indicated, we are meeting with, or we are in conference with Flow Electric Vehicle Charging to determine the best path forward and get some quotes. And I believe we're just waiting for, they were going to supply us with some local areas that already have Flow charging stations so that we can visit them and examine them and see what they're all about. It's my understanding that Mount Holly and Trenton are the closest ones nearby, but we're waiting still for a specific address where those are located. And finally, the municipal building renovations project, as stated, we will be here on Thursday afternoon to walk through the building and determine the best path forward for the reconstruction or the renovation of whatever areas of building need updating, and to allow for additional security, better use of existing space, increased safety, and ADA bathroom accessibility in the bathrooms in this building. That's all I have. Thank you.
Any questions for the engineer?
I'm good.
No, we're good?
I'm good.
Okay. Site plan.
Site plan, if there is one, will be next Tuesday, June 6th. I haven't gotten an agenda yet.
Advisory board?
Advisory board will be this Thursday, June 1st.
Okay. Any old business not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, new business.
Yes. This evening, we have some new business. In the past, or actually a few months ago, I had sent you over a presentation about municipal cannabis in New Jersey. It was a seminar that both Terry and I had sat on. As you know, we have opted out of the first round of being able to present or have cannabis being sold here in the municipality. At this point, since there has been additional information that we've gotten, I felt that the presentation was extremely informative, and what you're getting now are just copies of some of the more informative pages. I believe that it should be something that perhaps council starts to reconsider in coming up with areas here in town that could, that could probably benefit from that business. The state has put in more regulations now. There is a design, one of your slides in there that I printed out, clearly talks about the cannabis ordinance list and a checklist of things that can be in there. It also gives the regulations, and it allows, the constrictions or the restrictions that council would be able to put in an ordinance. So when we first discussed this, we didn't have any information. We had nothing, and it was very difficult, but had we opted in at that time, we would have been stuck to whatever was then, and it really didn't give us many options. This now, because they have changed things and they have updated things, I believe it should be something that we probably might want to look back into, coming up with maybe an area in town. We do have a few places that we probably could put one. It does not mean that they're going to be selling it on every corner or, that everything you see. But again, with the restrictions, we could come up with what the goals and what the desires are of council and what the community really wants to see for it to be able to benefit from that tax benefit that we could.
Have they set any regulations, rules, percentages of what the tax would be? What the
So that is
state would
included, yeah.
charge, what
So
the-
that is included in that packet. It should be included. I believe I printed out the one. But there are different scales depending on what you're going to do. and what you can, what is normal. Some of the towns that have done, Hoboken has been very successful with their ordinance, so I do have examples of their cannabis ordinance. The other towns that they used as models, like I said, Hoboken was one, Atlantic City was one, Oakland, New Jersey, Maywood, New Jersey, Asbury Park has all put in different, they're now all opting in, and they have been very successful with their ordinances. So if it's something that council is interested in exploring some more, we can definitely speak with our planner, and see how we could do it, where maybe here in town it would be. And I would start seriously considering things that are important to you about it. Again, there are things that the zoning board would have to look at, but that packet also talks about the different classes of cannabis and the different types that would be allowable in a municipality.
Aren't there other towns closer, like Evesham?
Evesham just passed theirs,
Morristown?
yes.
Mount Laurel.
Mount Laurel just did,
Yeah.
Morristown
So,
just did,
that
yes.
gives
So
us
they
more
are.
of a,
Yeah, when I got this packet, they weren't,
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
just recently done those
Right.
within probably the last 45 days, I believe, is when their ordinances.
It's very enlightening. I took a bunch of classes down at the league in municipalities. Last time I was down there, I took about 3 or 4 classes on it, and it's definitely something we should look into. I agree.
At this point, it'll be additional tax revenue. We still do get inquiries about it.
Right.
And asking. Unfortunately, right now, the answer has been no, I'm sorry, we can't. But again, we are in a position where we could rescind that and
Looking just for retail.
retail. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't have any warehouse spacing. I mean, we wouldn't be doing that. I mean, as you know, right now, you can't stop someone from coming in and delivering it
Right,
here in
exactly.
town. But we can, I think that with this guidance and with the guidance of what some of the other municipalities around us are doing, I think that now is the time that we would definitely be able to get on board with it and put something in place. It's not a process that is short either. It's not something that will just be, 2 meetings and you're done.
Right.
It's a fairly lengthy process, not only for us, but for the retailer or, the licensee.
I know we don't have anything to do with this, but are they allowed to go to banks now?
Oh, the federal money portion of it? That's still up in the air, but they are. And
Banks are
the
accepting?
banks are accepting it, so, but I don't know how the federal regulations will come down eventually, but
I know that was a big.
Yeah.
There's so much to
no-no
know.
with one particular.
Well, they're using credit unions. Credit unions you can't because
So they're not big.
they're not FDIC insured.
Right.
Okay,
Correct.
okay. All right, now I just was wondering about
Yeah,
that.
it was always a sticking point.
Yeah, definitely.
so that was the
Good
first.
reading.
I'm sorry.
That's a good reading, so we have to,
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a lot of reading, but again, those were the pages that, I did send you the PowerPoint of it.
Yeah.
Right.
But those are the
It
pages
was
that are
kind
most
of hard
pertinent.
to know what they were talking
Right.
about without them explaining what all the slides were.
Yeah. So that is the first. Our second new business is the lighting and cell tower installation. I have a gentleman that has been nonstop emailing. He would like to, here, I'm going to put these out too. There we go. Copies. At Aces Field. He is requesting council give consideration to extending one of the light poles there that are approximately right now, they're about 70, 75 feet. Verizon would like to come in and put a height of about 90 to 100 feet for the pole, so it's just about another 20 feet on the existing lights. They're looking to lease ground over there for the cell tower. I have not been real quick to get back to him because of the location, but if we were to find a different location somewhere closer to there, I would just need to know if council would be interested in exploring that. This would be a new cell tower, is what it would be. But again, like I said, the location there, they put their towers on top of they go to fields and they put them on top of lights, and that's what I'm showing you in the 2 pictures. The one is where he's proposing, and then the second picture is what a tower would look similar to that.
Where's he from?
He is from, he's the real estate manager for Network Connects, who deals with Verizon. They're out of Mount Laurel. So if Aces Field is out, I will tell him that Aces Field is out, but I did tell him that I would at least bring this to council so that you all could see it.
I think we should take a good hard look at this, and I'll tell you why. When I first saw it, I think it was in last week or last months, and I thought, oh my God, that's terrible. But I've looked, traveling around the roadways,
Where they are.
and they're all over the place, and they're primarily at sports fields.
Sports fields.
And they're not that objectionable looking. Now, I know that's not an endorsement, they're not that objectionable looking, but what better place for them? I think that we should think about it and look around as you're traveling and see what you see. Once, it's like seeing a red car, and that's all you see is red cars after that, so I've just been looking at these.
Do they have a specific area they're looking to be in? Like, do they have a geographical
So that is,
restrictions?
it is yeah, that's what he is looking at. And again, it comes down to the fact because it's on a sports field, it's in a high densely populated area. There's a service need there,
Really?
so. But before I even begin to talk to him, I know that he's going to push the Aces Field one. If you are against it, then tell me so that I can at least go back and say, we're not against the idea, we're against the location.
I don't really like the location. I mean, that's very residential, and it's, small field.
Right.
So it would encumber some of the people that are in that
Because
neighborhood.
they're gonna have to put some kind of a building,
So he is
box
saying,
there, right?
well, yeah, and that's what they're saying, that he's showing that light pole on East Broad, that's next to East Broadway. But, they would add
In the
screening.
corner next to the
and-
basketball courts?
What's this?
Yeah, the sign for the.
I did
boxes
advise him that
right
we were
there.
going to be doing upgrades to that park too, that, we have the grant there and that we're working on upgrades, so,
Right.
Maybe another location, like you said.
right,
Yeah, but if he wants it because for residential, he wants to put it in residential because that's where the need is.
that's where the need is and what it reaches. I mean, it's the center of town. I can ask him for additional information if you want to just explore it a little bit more and see exactly. But, I mean, basically, that's what he gave me. I asked him for as much information as I could, other than
Yeah,
coming in and giving us a
Last time I
presentation.
remember there being any residential, they wanted to put one out here behind the police station,
Right.
and that was,
I would ask him if he's wedded to this site, if there's any other sites that he would be interested in, but,
Right, how far he's gonna allow us to.
yeah, how far he wants to go. There's nothing else, unless he was to go to the school
Woodlawn.
site there, I mean,
Or
Yeah,
even,
but it's
what
still
about the mun-
Woodlawn, still
what
a
about the
residential.
municipal lot?
yeah. I mean, no matter where you go with
Huh?
our,
The municipal lot.
yeah, you're gonna hit residential no matter any of the fields that you go to. All right,
You got the corner of Steinhauer,
Steinhauer.
Fellowship, and Trump.
Oh, right by the
Right
train,
across
yeah.
the street.
Yeah,
Not
it's
far
certainly
from
close
there.
enough.
don't they, it's a railroad.
I would,
Well, I also don't
No.
want to attract him to somebody else's property because it would be a rental income for us,
Ah,
so
okay.
that's the other.
right.
Okay, I'll ask him for a little bit more information, see if there's another that we're just not real crazy about
The
Aces
location,
Field,
yeah.
the location there. Okay. All
All
right,
right.
that's the end of my new business.
Any other new business not on the agenda? Okay. Seeing none, do we have a reason to go back into closed session, Counselor?
No, Mayor.
Okay. All right, seeing none, then I'm going to have a motion to adjourn.
So made.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned until June 8th.